Hello there, YouTubers. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the program. Welcome to this video. So it's the 9th of March, year 2025, both at Australian Eastern Daylight Time / Sydney time and local Beijing or Peking time. I kind of deliberately planned to make this video, and I've given a thought or two about it before I formally initiated this filming session with my newly purchased webcam, and USB one. Well, for those who don't know yet, and USB one / universal serial bus. Yeah, just to clarify it. But yeah, in any regard, in this filming session, I just like to talk more about my current status quo and something more specific, namely the efficacy of self-improvement in me, as far as I can discern and observe and reckon. And I also like to talk about talk more about the the so-called Cold War between I and that wicked woman / my birth mother, at least allegedly my birth mother, who never ceases to harass and persecute me from time to time, but at least her previous attempt to to wish me ill did not succeed. And yes, and the fact that I am sitting here filming this video has evidently demonstrated such fact and truth. I beg your pardon for my lousy hairstyle. And furthermore, I would like to talk more about my issues with post-modern day women / female human individuals. And I would like to give you guys my own explanations, my own analysis as to why I still choose to remain single and go pretty much ghost MGTOW, in the mode or the pattern of living characterized by pretty much engaging in ghost mode pretty much all the time. In other words, I basically keep my keep the amount and level of interaction with other human individuals to a minimal level. I basically don't really talk to people unless the situation or the circumstance necessitates so doing. Namely, I need to on some occasions I need to ring my banks to request for a replacement debit card or change, some details, some information on their end. And sometimes is not sometimes, but pretty much always I whenever, yes, the delivery dude who who transports food and some other essential or non-essential items to to my current place of residence slash my grandma's flat. To them, I almost always say, thank you and have a lovely day. Thank you for your hard work, blah blah blah, and travel safely, blah blah blah, or drive or ride safely, blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. Well, unless I unless the level of my depression or anxiety or both reach their peak, which largely contribute to my stuttering. Made it too challenging for me to say those words of gratitude and pleasantries. Yes, by trying to kind of stand on my ceremony, that sort of thing, just to make myself look and sound more presentable, though not exactly a gentleman style or blah blah blah, but you get the idea. So yeah, basically, basically, beg your pardon, my hair just keeps bouncing back and forth. Yeah, so basically, yeah, thanks, not thanks to, but I believe owing largely or chiefly to that, to the consistent and persistent harassment and persecutions and belittling and upbringing slash gaslighting and indoctrination since my early childhood imposed by that wicked woman, I have pretty much lost trust in, well, at least almost every female human individual. Well, still, you have to, here and there, more or less, you just have to come to the terms with the simple fact that nowadays women, most, if not all of them, but believe that their shit or their shite smells sweeter than others. They always, almost always have that sort of, sense of entitlement or attitude. Um, whenever you begin, to spend some time, with them, well, either, as her, their spouses or their sexual or intimate partners. Well, still, you know, that says, you allow them to get, you allow them, you kind of voluntarily and to a fairly large extent, you also in the meantime kind of involuntarily let them get close enough to you so that they can either divorce, rape you, or exploit you, or take huge advantages of you, by making you into by turning you into the namely ATMs, or slash the tool, or the machine, for extracting money, time, and attention. And let's face it, we men are generally, well, at least generally speaking, we are pretty much born natural minimalists. We don't really tend to thirst for or crave that amount of attention and external validation from the outside world, aka from other people, from other human individuals per se. More or less, we can give our own validations slash self validations, or internal validations from time to time by practicing the discipline of self improvement. Say training up for better physique, by either going to the gym, or just working out indoors at home, by doing push-ups, sit-ups, or switch lunges, blah blah blah, and we can basically just gain a huge amount of self validations by making money. Even not a huge amount of money can actually keep us sated, aka we can basically satiate from even the tiniest amount or level of progress or achievement we manage to attain by either practicing self improvement, or blah blah blah, and this and that here and there. I beg your pardon, but yeah. Basically, nowadays women, they just, or at least the vast majority of nowadays women, they just tend to want to keep their egos hugely and disproportionately inflated, by constantly seeking attention, validation, and from not just from other men, but from one another, and that can pose and create a huge loads amounts of problems and issues, with which more or less can result in broken or toxic relationships between between both parties, aka we men and women. And I have reached an age. Well, though I'm not saying that I have become that old or that mature enough to have come to a level of complete epiphany or in enlightenment. Let's just put it this way. I believe I have satiated on, or have tasted enough of the dark side of female nature, to actually believe in true love between a man and a woman. At least for nowadays, I can pretty much say that I no longer believe in love associated with you know intimate relationships between men and women. Yes, well, um, take it at what you will. That is pretty much um, my true words. My that represent my genuine and authentic thoughts and mentality and or mindset about nowadays heterosexual relationships and its associated activities like dating or hunting or searching for the unicorns, blah blah blah, respectively. Though I'm not saying that we men, never, get obsessed with seeking external or superficial or shallow level of validations from others. Yes, from time to time, we also do so. But at least in my case, I pretty much ceased to seek or pursue validations externally in such a frenzy and relentless or restless fashion. Though yes, the one of the primary motives that drive me to make this video is yes, seeking validations, but mostly or most mainly from my fellow um, male viewers, from from other MGTOWs and well, since the vast majority of my audience base um, consists of more than 90% you know males. So yeah, so pretty much yes, you can say that my channel or my presence on the on the global internet exists to to kind of self validate, self gratify, self um, self affirm within and amongst the manosphere, pretty much, yeah. So yeah, yes, I suppose I got a bit sidetracked, and I beg your pardon for it. But yeah, yes, yeah. Back to the back to another main topic of this filming session is the overall efficacy of practicing self improvement. Say reading regularly and exercising slash working out fairly regularly and cutting down on on porno consumption, slash, aka, fat less, learn more, or and self-improve more. Yes. So yeah, and how and how how I imagine or perceive those practices have helped me to self improve thus far. Yes, well, at least yes, by working out fairly regularly, sometimes kind of intermittently, even intermittent um, working out, can greatly, reduce, both the intensity and frequency of my at least severe depression episodes. Though yes, unfortunately yes, by doing and unfortunately, you pretty much cannot shake off or snap out of OCD. No matter how hard you work out, how hard you train up your physique, in a gym. But yes, though yes, maybe on this, at least on the surface, so it seems to me that exercising does at least gives you the at least gives you the sense, or the at least the illusion, or at least the facade that you have been doing your utmost best to improve, to self improve, instead of indulging in say instant gratifications, say fapping to porno, or consuming those sort of garbage contents on social media, say YouTube shorts, and well, most typically speaking, but are not limited to YouTube shorts, and also TikToks, and doom scroll on yes, doom, yeah, also doom scroll on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, blah blah blah. Yeah, and yes, at least doing practicing self improvement can help you. Um, well, um, doom scroll much less. Well, yes, though yes, I also admit to the fact that I sometimes, at least on some occasions, I kind of engage in activities of doom scrolling on YouTube. Whenever I try to kind of wind up and take and just to to try, whenever I try to relax, in bed, with my iPad, well, namely, during weekends, at least, yes, well, at least for yesterday, yes, though I did manage to, to complete, yes, my basic and pretty much bare minimal workout routines, completing, by succeeded in doing at least, yes, by doing yes, 111 push-ups and some other physical exercises. I pretty much kind of voluntarily chose to stay in bed, to kind of make myself a bed bed potato instead of couch potato. Yeah. So yeah. I beg your pardon. And yes, I didn't. I didn't. Wash my face nor brush my teeth yesterday. But I kind of forced myself to yes to brush my teeth and wash my face properly instead for today. Though I didn't do so on time. I did so pretty much at sunset, and which kind of made me you know determined to forcefully reset my already some highly eroded and broken circadian rhythm by staying up by at least attempting to stay up for the whole night for tonight. Yeah, yeah. Though I can't really promise or guarantee that such an attempt to forcefully reset my circadian rhythm will succeed. Um, yeah. So yeah. What else have I overlooked to mention or to kind of talk about in a bit more specific details? Yes. So yeah, the Cold War. Yes, the currently ongoing Cold War between between I and that wicked woman slash my alleged birth mother who never ceases, who never stops persecuting and harassing me for money, trying to wish me ill, yes, and not to mention that well, at least um, so I heard, from from my yes from my adopted mom slash one of my aunts who oftentimes takes care of me by cooking me meals, sometimes lunch, sometimes dinner. I hear yes from her that I hear her I hear her transcribing the or reading some of the text messages they exchanged on WeChat, saying that she is that I mean that wicked woman is has been practicing witchcraft to wish me ill, to enchant, to impose some sort of curse, some sort of enchantment on me, so that I die or I drop dead, so that she can seize everything including this flat and blah blah blah. And ever since from 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 square one, or from the beginning of time, or at least from the beginning of my time on planet Earth, I have never been I have pretty much never ceased to hear from her. I mean that wicked woman, and trying to belittle me, trying to gaslight me. She keeps telling me, she keeps you know you know either d- directly or indirectly giving me those indoctrination, ga- gaslighting, be- belittling saying that I will never achieve my goals. I will never be able to do this, to do that, to go there, to travel here and there, blah blah blah. You know, basically, she is highly toxic and highly narcissistic, to say the least. Though I'm not a qualified psychiatrist or psychologist to give a professional diagnosis, um, you know, of of people of patients. I beg your pardon. Um, I believe it should have become quite obvious that the a person in his or her right any person in his or her right mind will keep his or her distance from such kind of woman as much and as far as possible. Yes. She just yes, how should I put it? It's just so freaking hard. But yes, but long story short, long story short, yes, I've given her the silent treatment. I you know I I've done my best to ignore her 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 harassing phone calls by you know by me stop paying for my Chinese mobile phone bills so that the phone number you know becomes invalid. It becomes a not exactly a recycled number, but it no longer is. It's a disconnected one now. But by the time as we speak, and on the other hand, yes, I blocked her from WeChat. Yes, I myself really use WeChat due to huge privacy um, concerns and its innate um, built-in design oversight. And there are some other problems and issues that make me too uncomfortable to use WeChat that often. So yes, basically yes, the main social media I use are yes, number one YouTube, number two Facebook. Yes, though I really nowadays I don't really use my personal Facebook account that often. Yes, but yes, instead I most chiefly mainly use Facebook for work, for marketing, and for client acquisition and blah blah blah. Yes, and some other sorts of follow up actions to keep my clients slash the company's clients happy and sated. Blah blah blah. Yeah. But yeah, I beg your pardon for getting sidetracked. So yeah, as a matter of such, yeah, I pretty much I perceive an astronomically high likelihood that I will die um, without trusting any women. And yes, I suppose yes, I will kick my bucket um, a celibate, a single dude, a MGTOW dude, slash more specifically, a ghost MGTOW that frequently engages in ghost mode. And yeah, so what do you guys reckon? Do you reckon that I should reconcile with that wicked woman by making some compromises or concessions and sign some paperwork to make her happy? What do you guys reckon? Do you guys believe that I should, well, first of all, maintain and then attempt do everything I can to improve my status quo, you know, by strengthening and fortifying, this my presence at this flat, say, well, namely making some, necessary, repairs and a bit of, minor renovations whenever I can before my departure / before my next mission of exodus and adventure to another country or region? Or do you think I should? Do you guys reckon that I should, do otherwise, by attempting to reconcile with that wicked woman? What do you guys reckon? Or do you guys reckon that I should just, try to lie, try to use some tricks and, necessary deception to take, as much advantage or as many advantages from that wicked woman as I can? What do you guys reckon? Please feel free to voice your opinions and thoughts below this video. Yes, I believe I have talked enough, and if you have watched if you have watched by being, if you have watched this far by being with me to nearing the end of this filming session, then you have my utmost and sincere and humble gratitude. So yeah, in any regards, please let me know what you guys reckon, and feel free to share with me your issues, your emotional trauma as a result of interacting with toxic and narcissistic women. Yeah. In any regards, thank you again. Thank you very much again for being with me to the end of this filming session. Yes, I believe I've done my best to articulate and vocalize and voice my thoughts and opinions in this video, despite my intermittent, though somewhat, severe stuttering. Yes, so until next time, if God's still willing. Cheers. Thank you for watching, and if God's still willing, see you next time on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, Patreon, etc. Bye. Take care and stay out of trouble.